Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Macabre Matinee with Craig and Sean. I believe this is episode 21, if
Ah,
I can count right, which I believe I'm keeping track of it adequately.
I hope so.
Uh, yeah, either way, I am Craig Lance,
And I'm Sean, bearded Cappolitan.
and this week we are going to discuss, we're going to take a break. We had told you we were going to do the Versus movie, Freddy versus Jason, but a new movie dropped on Netflix called Army of the Dead. And we're going to take a few minutes and talk about that this week as opposed to Freddy versus Jason, which we'll come back to on our next episode.
Right.
But as per always, this is your one and only chance for spoiler warning. If you haven't seen Army of the Dead, pause our show, go watch it on Netflix. You know you have Netflix. Everybody has Netflix now.
It's true,
Go
yeah.
watch it, come back and listen to the rest of our show. So, as I stated, this was on Netflix. It was released in 2021, so like 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah.
It was written by Zack Snyder, Shay Hayton or Hatton, and Joby Harold, and directed by Zack Snyder. It stars Dave Bautista, who you will recognize from WWE and as what's his name from
That would be
Guardian? Yeah,
Drax.
Drax. Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, where you can't see him when he's not moving. Um,
It's true.
he plays Scott Ward. Ella Purnell plays Kate Ward, his daughter. Anna de la Guerra, I think is how you say her name, plays Maria. And Theo Rossi plays Cummings. And even though he's not got a large part in this movie, I wanted to bring attention to him because he is the guy from the last season of Luke Cage. He's the kind of thug that you would recognize if you watched that movie.
Oh, okay. I thought he looked a little familiar.
Yeah, he's what's her name's like main henchman.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that
So
makes sense.
yeah, so this story is basically the story of when road fellatio just outside of Las Vegas causes the zombie apocalypse.
It's true.
Well, okay, it isn't actually the fellatio that causes it so much as when the guy wrecks his car into an army cargo truck with a container holding a super soldier. Unfortunately for the world, the super soldier is actually a zombie and turns on everyone around him before heading into Las Vegas with his newfound zombie friends. It isn't long before the zombies wipe out Las Vegas and the U.S. quarantines, bombs, and tries to otherwise destroy Vegas to eliminate the zombies. Really, to no success other than quarantining it off and keeping the zombies located centrally. There was no word if like any of the other army guys went in different directions or if they all followed him into Las Vegas. But hey, there's plenty of gaps in this movie.
Oh, my,
Uh,
yes.
so Scott and some others who happened to escape Vegas during the initial breakout soon find themselves living a mundane life outside of Vegas. And in Scott's case, he's living as a short order cook. Um, One day while he's cooking, he gets a visitor, a Mr. Tanaka, who offers him a job. The job is to enter Vegas, head to a casino, recover the 200 million in the vault. He and his team will then make $50 million to do so. Because a heist movie and a zombie movie mixed is something interesting to do.
Of course. I mean, it
Yeah,
makes the best video games.
exactly. Which is what this whole movie reminds me of.
Really does.
Um, yeah, it really. We'll get to that in a minute. But the plot in this movie reminds me a lot of a video game plot. So Scott decides to put together a team and take the job. Also, they only have one day to complete the job because we need more tension, and the president has decided to nuke Las Vegas. So Scott and his entire team enter into Vegas with the help of Scott's estranged daughter, Kate, who is volunteering at the quarantine station. One catch: Kate needs help finding a friend who is trapped inside of Vegas for reasons that really don't pertain to the plot of the rest of the movie.
Oh,
Um,
we gotta get them escort missions.
yeah, the side quest.
Yep.
Um, Once inside Vegas, we find out that there are alpha level zombies who move fast and have made Vegas their kingdom, with Super Soldier Zombie now as the king. Apparently, when he bites anyone, they turn into an alpha. Any of the other zombies bite someone, they turn into a regular zombie. Again, no reason why, it's just a thing. King Zombie is using intruders into Vegas to build himself an army. We don't know for what purpose, other than maybe to take on the rest of the world. It never goes into that. Uh, Scott and his team make it to the casino, where they find out that their escape helicopter is in bad disrepair after a few short months of being left in Vegas's heat, I guess. And also, for some reason, they have to carry fuel into Vegas to fuel the helicopter, because apparently someone parked it on top of the roof of a casino and left it empty. So,
As you do. I mean, it's common.
yeah. Just leave it there. Somebody else will fill it up later.
Yeah.
Um, and if you're gonna do that, you would think there would be a fueling station up there for the. Either way, just another thing. So the team eventually gets to the vault, except we find out that Tanaka has actually had another agenda. He wants one of the heads of the Alpha Zombie so he can sell it back to the army. The heist really was just a distraction, and also the president has decided to move up the timetable to nuke Vegas because we need more attention. So Tanaka's inside man kills the zombie queen and takes her head, which begins a war between the Alphas and the team. Eventually, Scott, Ella, and the Edgelord helicopter pilot are all that are left as they make their escape. The zombie king jumps onto the helicopter. And that's where I'm going to leave the synopsis of the story.
Okay.
Obviously, that's about a 2.5 hour movie condensed into, what, 10 minutes or so?
Not even. But good job.
Yeah. There's a lot that happens, and I don't really want to spoil the end.
Yeah.
We can, as we discuss, but
Right.
I thought, well, we'll see how that all plays out.
Right. Oh, we're gonna. Well, without necessarily having to get into it, there are little tidbits that I have to bring up that kind of will get in towards the end without necessarily having to say exactly what happens. I think we can avoid it if you want to.
It doesn't matter, honestly. I just decided to stop there. If we want to, I mean, we gave a spoiler warning.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we'll get to it when we get to it then. Okay. So, are you ready for this? Because
I'm so ready for this.
this is Zack Snyder at his. I ain't gonna say Zack Snyder is. He had the 4 hours of Snyder cut to be his most Zack Snyder, because I give him props. Minimal slow motion for a Zack Snyder film.
Really, there was
Hardly
only at
any.
the beginning.
Yeah,
it was
hardly
only like at the beginning when they were doing, like, even I guess it was during the opening credits.
Yeah, that was
They were
really
doing
it.
some to and then that's about all I can remember off the top of my head.
At least significant. There were some moments, but nothing
Yeah.
nothing Snyder cut bad
Yeah.
levels. So, and as you mentioned, like they have the military transport.
Yeah.
You caught the name of their dispatch,
I did not. What was the name of the dispatch?
mothership,
Ah.
and the troops who were oh so subtly called the Four Horsemen. Snyder at his most deep and subtle,
Yeah.
hauling the super soldier zombie. And what did they say? Like, you know what, going on and on. You know what this is. You know what this is. Insert aliens meme.
Yes.
Did you catch the UFOs above Las Vegas?
I did not see the UFOs above Las Vegas.
Because you can barely tell they're fucking there over the lights of Las Vegas. But yes, they're. Craig, this movie,
Yeah.
aliens.
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 Is that what it is?
Zack
Aliens.
Snyder has said so. It's in the film. Did you catch the robot zombie?
I did not see a robot zombie either.
There's a fucking
How is there
robot
a
zombie.
robot zombie?
Again, Zack Snyder.
Yeah, none of it
But
makes sense.
no. And here's the thing. But
Along
yeah,
with the plot of the entire movie. But
the only time you catch it is at the very end when Guzman, the Latino guy with the blonde hair,
yeah,
when they're in the casino and one zombie like rips his money bag and he shotguns him in the face. If you looked
yeah.
at the zombie, you saw a metal skull with a blue glowing eye once his face got blown off. Why is that there?
I did not catch
Why
that.
are there aliens? Why is none of this explained in the fucking movie? Because Zack Snyder's an artist, a genius writer,
Oh,
so deep.
is that what it is?
He it's in his script. It's in there, and it's not ever
Oh,
fucking addressed.
nice.
If I didn't read it on IMDb and go back and rewatch those scenes, I would have missed it too. But I had to read up on
Yeah.
Snyder talking about there's layers into there. I mean, that's what. Did you know the lead zombie? His name was Zeus.
Of course, his name was Zeus.
'Cause he went
How
to-
would I know his name was
I
Zeus?
mean, it's not like they addressed it. Oh yeah, they didn't address it. So
Oh,
yeah,
I particularly liked King Zombie riding a zombie horse to go pick up the corpse of his dead corpse bride, while the zombie white Bengal tiger follows him around.
which
That was pretty epic.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually like that they mentioned the Siegfried and Roy tiger and brought
Yeah.
that in.
I mean, I was fine with the tiger, to be
So
honest.
yeah,
It was kind of him riding the horse, and
right.
yeah,
But that I want to get those out the way. Also because
yeah,
you didn't bring them up in the synopsis, so I know you didn't catch them, as nobody would if you weren't reading it, because he
yeah.
threw in these elements and
Well,
did
since we're
not address them in a 2.5 hour long fucking zombie film.
so, let's talk about some other things since we're there,
Okay,
because
okay,
apparently, I mean, there's some other threads he set up for no fucking reason at all.
yeah,
The sun dehydrates the regular zombies, leaving them just kind of in shambles, laying there.
right.
But apparently, rain will bring them back to life, which would have been a better story than the war with the Zombie King.
Yeah,
If they get to the casino and they come out and it's raining, so now all the zombies that they just walked past are dead and they have to fight their way out.
right.
To me, that would have been a better movie than this whole sub thread with the Zombie King, which makes no sense anyways. Because why do you need the Alpha's head when the army created the original zombie in the first place? They
What
obviously know how, so why the hell are you going to sell them back a zombie head?
alien technology? Because they don't have alien technology anymore. I
Oh,
guess because you're forgetting about the alien subplot
I
that's not
did
even
forget
brought up.
about the.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know why they need the head of the queen that the alpha
yeah,
that they created, or maybe. Although, granted, at Zeus's death, you saw the blue glow, which you also saw the blue glow in the child, because once again, Zack Snyder is showing his necrophilia kinks, and I'm not kink shaming, bro. You do you, but he likes putting babies and zombies in his fucking films, and he did it again in
yeah,
this one. And they had because they had
yeah.
the queen had the baby, and we were all sad when he pulled out the fetus. I don't fucking know what we're supposed to feel with this. And okay,
Yeah,
so in the interest of fairness, let me also throw some stuff in real quick. I think Batista
yeah.
carried this film.
I absolutely agree with that. That was one of the
He
notes I had.
he
He did
was really
amazing.
good. Yeah, he was.
For his first lead, or at least as far as I'm aware, his first lead in a movie.
I'd say
You couldn't
major
have asked any more from him.
first major lead.
Yeah.
He did a lesser known film for Netflix called Bushwick, where he was pretty
Oh,
much
okay.
the lead. He was the bad. He didn't start the movie, but he pretty much became the central focus, helping the main characters. So close to it. Another good action flick from him. But
Gotcha,
this was
gotcha.
definitely his biggest I've seen from what I've seen of his acting chops, and he's really come a long way. So I like that. I like that. They use a lot of practical effects. No, there wasn't as much CG as you would think in this film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I don't know if this excuses it, but here's another little tidbit for you. This movie, okay, well, Zack Snyder wrote the script 10 years ago. It's been in development hell that long. So
Oh, okay.
So take that into consideration about what we see in this film and think about zombie horror films in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
It makes
I mean,
certain choices. Not all, it doesn't justify everything. Aliens, robot zombies. But it kind of makes a little more sense on some of this.
yeah.
Like, like every
Unfueled helicopters.
unfilled helicopter, of course, all badass military tactical shooting women wearing their tactical tank tops into battle.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
I don't know, armor. Don't get it. Some of the dudes were rocking suns out, guns out too. But that's
Yeah.
also very much of the
Yeah.
video game feel. I think added to
Yep.
this film.
Yeah. And I feel like this whole movie really was, like I said earlier, the plot of a video game put into a movie.
Absolutely.
And it's not necessarily that it's bad. I don't want to give that opinion.
Right.
Because I don't hate this movie, even though it has its problems.
Right.
Um, you know, honestly, for my money, though, if I'm going to watch a video game zombie movie, I'm going to watch the first Resident Evil and save my time.
I'd even go so far as to say watch Resident Evil. I think it was 3 when they went to Vegas.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that was a better Vegas zombie film. But this one, but again, I agree with you. So taking aside all these complaints, the positives
Right.
are there is a lot of action. I mean, once it gets going, it did not need to be 2.5 hours long. But because, like, yes, we get backstory, we get some social commentary, from Snyder, as subtle as a ball peen hammer to the zombie skull, as he
Yeah.
as he does, which I get what he's going for with some of the updates from a 10-year-old script, and wanted to add that in. Cool, fine, but it's like it just felt like once it got going, it didn't feel 2.5 hours, or at least probably another hour 45 or hour 30.
Yeah.
But it like once it got going, it got going.
Yeah.
But
The action scenes are really rather good in it.
right, and it's not
You
suffering
know,
from his slow
which is
mo.
what yeah, which you expect good action from a Snyder movie, even if the plot suffers from it. So you did get the good action scenes in this.
I will.
Speaking,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of like bad subtleties, the whole thing feels like an analog for COVID. To be quite honest with you, down to the point where they're checking the temperature of people to
Yeah,
make sure that they aren't infected and things of that nature. The asshole cop kind of plays right into what's been going on. There was a lot of like ham-fisted references in there.
yeah, I agree. Like,
I guess would be the best way to put it.
and that's the modern updates I was speaking on was like that. The
Yeah.
we get a bit of the border guard, border patrol type guards and stuff going on in
Yep.
there.
Yep.
Keeping people from crossing the lines and whatnot.
And raping people and
And
yeah.
yeah, so we got that kind of stuff. And again, addressed in a zombie film, that's not unique. Romero did it,
Exactly.
albeit better. But
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at it. But a lot of it started to feel like, okay, you're really padding out this part. Like we get it. We get it. Just little things like that could have been cut down to get straight more into the Vegas part. Getting into I think would have like kind of made it like I didn't it didn't feel like an eternity like the Snyder cut, but it definitely felt like two and a
Right.
half hours. So I just think
Well,
it could have been done a little shorter.
exactly. And when they enter into Vegas, my first thought is, how many casinos are right there? Why do they got to go to this specific one? And then, of course, there's the subplot that wasn't needed because I'm like, just go into any of them. All of them are full of money in their vaults.
But not 200 million specifically in a
Uh,
vault that's categorically impossible to open unless you put your ear to the fucking dial. Okay, so here
yeah.
I'm gonna point that out too. We got Dieter, who everyone loved, and I thought he was just kind of okay comic relief.
Yeah.
I did like him, and I gotta admit though, by the end of it, I did enjoy his and I can't think of the dude from
Vans.
yeah. Like,
I think is his name.
yeah, like I like their interaction. I did like
Yeah.
that. They had some good chemistry at the end. But at the end, like this is the world premiere safe cracker to break into the world's most impossible safe, and he draws some lines around the dials, and then it's just his plain ear to the door, like a 1920s villain trying to break into a safe. And it's like
Yep.
not even a stethoscope or some kind of tech. It's like really, like
Yep.
that
And,
that annoyed me
and
more than
this
I
is
thought it
after
would.
the well, and this is after the non-lethal, supposedly non-lethal things that were there to, which included a gun, guns, machine guns going off, and
Right.
poison darts, and door slamming shut on people
Yeah.
and killing them.
The Indiana
Uh,
Jones Temple of Doom
yeah,
safe. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Um,
But again, that's I don't know. Like the traps just fell in line with the rest of the film, like this silly action film.
yeah,
But for some reason, just
yep.
like at the very end of it all, this expert has just got his ear to it as he's listening to it click. It's like
It,
I don't know why
it
that
needs
bothered
a
me more than
half
it
an
did.
hour to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they're like, and I could be wrong because I was not trying to pay that hard attention to the little details because I've just gotten madder at this film. Because it's not the type of film we need to, although it's our job for this show to dissect. It's not one
Right.
you need to overly think. But I'm pretty sure that the time changed, how much time before even before they shortened it, changed like
Yeah.
4 times in one scene. And of course,
Yeah.
we got an hour to get back up there. All right, we got 20 minutes. This is after like maybe 5 minutes of time there, but we still got time to talk and voice our complaints and issues with each other as normal.
Well, and my complaint with that is just getting out of Vegas doesn't protect you from the fallout,
Right.
you know, or the blast zone. Whatever. There, there are some serious plot and story problems with this movie. That a lot of it was done with just the intent to add, um, uh, like tangible tension to the movie that it
Yeah.
really didn't need because it's a zombie movie to begin with.
Right.
You know what it needed
What?
was fucking zombies in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again,
Other
like I was gonna say, like you had
all the
said,
zombies are dead.
yeah, they're all yeah,
Yeah,
they're not up until like the very end, like the shootout inside the
right.
casino. There's not much
Yeah.
there after they get initially through. And again, you said like they left the perfect kind of like end sequence would have been the
Yeah.
fucking the rain. If it started raining, why even address that if you weren't going to use
Right.
it?
Why even exactly? I kept as soon as they said it, I'm like, oh well, I know how this is going to end.
Right.
Well, he sure fooled me. What a twist there,
See,
Snyder.
see, he's so much
Uh,
smarter than you, bro. He's on that other level. He's doing that 4D chess, bro.
well, and speaking of weird things with the zombies,
Yeah.
is you there's a legit good creepy scene in this movie, and it's when they're in the what I call the zombie mannequin room,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they're having to go through this room, and you think they're mannequins at first, but they're zombies,
Right.
and but then he throws in a weird ass Snyder thing that apparently they are just asleep now, and as long as you don't wake them or make any noise, they won't bother you.
Zombies,
What?
zombies need nappy time too, bro.
What? He took his best creepy scene and turned it into that.
Yeah.
It would have been better off just having it actually be a mannequin room, and while you're in there, somebody makes some noise and it draws the attention
Yeah.
of the zombies that come to get you.
With
You know, it,
on top of
it
that, like 27 fake outs with that girl's death. That by the time it
oh
finally
yeah,
happened, I didn't care.
yeah,
You know what I
no,
mean?
I agree.
Like that dude setting her up with the glow stick and her like if I'm supposed to care about her dying, it's like if I can use a wrestling analogy. That WWE especially does a lot now. Since Batista's in, I'm bringing up WWE. Okay, there's my justification. When you kick out of 27 finishes and they finally get the roll up, who fucking cares anymore? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's kind of like with that. Like, I agree with you. That was probably the most tense scene. That was naturally tense because yes,
Yeah.
it's a weird concept of zombie sleeping, but it kind of falls in line with like those zombies that just kind of chill and then grab you when you pass
Yeah.
by. But again, when
Yeah.
you got just a room of them that all decide to go night night, It's fucking weird,
Yeah.
and it doesn't. And
Oh,
again,
and for some reason they all went to the same room to go do that
yeah,
instead of just wherever they are.
yeah, yeah. But again, it's all justified once you know aliens. It's all alien
Yeah.
in origin, bro. And but
So yeah, so that's his theory is that it was aliens and not the army that created the zombies, huh?
no, it's not a theory. It's his story. It's in the
I
script.
mean, that's what he's
It's just
saying, I
not in the.
guess.
It's just not in the fucking movie. I
It's
guess.
just not in the movie.
Like all that stuff is shown, but not addressed, not talked about, not
It's
explained.
1000% leads you to believe that this is a super soldier created by the military.
Yeah, you have two random hillbilly soldiers talking about we got this from Area 52. It must mean the like he wouldn't even say it for like 10 minutes. Like what the fucking say aliens? We get what you're getting at, you know.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, I thought that was them just being conspiracy theory kind of guys
yeah,
because the way the one was giving the other one shit. I didn't really put that in as a
right.
part of the wow.
Nope. See, you're not thinking on Snyder's level of his genius, bro.
I am not as smart as Snyder. That's apparent because I would have not have made a video game movie.
Right. One more little like major bitch I have about Snyder. That one
Just
as
one.
one last one at least. Because again, as much as I'm being negative, I didn't hate this film, but
Yeah, exactly.
but there are certain Snyderisms that were just so apparent that brought it down to me, and
Yeah.
I now granted I like his musical selections often, except
Oh yeah.
except
I'm going
when
here too.
except when he thinks he's being clever
Yeah.
and making a like using the right song for the right scene to make his point that much more deeper and artistic. Snyder, I know you listen to our podcast regularly. You're one of our 5 listeners, so I'm talking to you directly.
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
just because the name of the song is Zombie doesn't mean it fits into your fucking movie.
Well, see, I actually thought Zombie kind of fit because it was about war. But since it's not
I
about war
mean,
and it's about
it's a zombie war, sure, but it's not about like the plight of
yeah,
the Irish war going on.
yeah.
And I don't think he thought
Well,
that deep. I think he literally saw the song's title was Zombie and just threw it in there.
yeah. Well,
That
I
irritated
also
me.
thought he tried. Well, I kept thinking, where have I heard this before? Oh, Dawn of the Dead remake, where they put in like 3 redone songs by legends.
Right.
You know, oh, instead of doing that, let's go ahead and just have all of these old Vegas songs remade and inserted into the movie at stupid ass points.
Yeah. Again, like
Yeah,
sometimes, like, because I mean, like, to me, the Watchmen soundtrack is great.
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought that was perfect. Some people called out the Hallelujah song during the sex scene as being awkward. I can see that, but again, I think that was he used music very well for the moments for the
yeah.
scenes. Because again, I know if we only reviewed this movie and the Snyder Cut, people think we hate all Snyder films, and it's not true.
It is not true.
But he makes, and again, this film could have been a decent zombie action film, one that I did not mind the fast zombies because
Yeah,
and if which we haven't gotten
because
to on the show.
he gave a totally logical explanation for him. Oh
Yeah,
wait, no, he didn't.
no aliens, but no. Even before I caught on to the alien thing, because they all looked fresh.
Yeah,
They all looked fresh, not rotten.
yeah.
And he clearly this is a unique zombie, which they kind of established early on. Because I'm pretty sure one of the 2 soldiers that he killed in the beginning only got his jaw ripped off. He wasn't bitten, but he still turned. But I'm not 100% on that. But like,
Yeah, apparently just dying near a zombie will turn you
I
into a
guess
zombie.
maybe he spit on him accidentally,
Yeah,
but like they established early, and I guess already based on my annoyance of his remake of Dawn of the Dead, I just accepted these were going to be fast zombies, and so I didn't mind that. But like again, I don't know the Cranberry song annoyed the shit out of me because I don't. Because without knowing, cause I ain't talked to the man, he doesn't return my phone calls anymore. I don't feel like he put that in because of the war context. I think he just said, "Oh, that song's called Zombie. Throw it in there."
yeah. I mean, that may very well be the case. I had just assumed that because of the army version, in my mind,
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah.
I didn't catch the that it was aliens because I'm not that smart. Um, I assume that it had to do with because it's a lot of reference to war and war machines and things like that, which
True.
kind of makes sense tied into what they if this was an actual super soldier, um, that kind of makes sense.
Right.
So
Well, okay.
yeah,
I see that. I can see your point. I just don't think
but with
that's
that
not
not
what he.
being the case,
I don't think
yeah,
it was.
yeah, uh, good
so
times.
so okay. Like without. All right. I think we've shat on it for about enough. Uh, Again, reiterating, I did like the shooting. Once it got into the action, it was good. And you had
Yeah,
a cast of the diverse characters that are 90% cannon fodder, which
yeah,
was my only issue is we got into so much backstory on some of them. It's like, look, I know 90% of these people aren't making it, so I don't care. So like,
yeah.
and the time for the time frame, but what we got once we got in there was a good zombie shootout. This was what Call of Duty zombie mode people would fucking love this film because
Yeah, I agree.
once you get past the boring talking parts, it gets into some legit action with some over the top shit that some of it was dumb, some of it was fun. Like I said, the zombie tiger was the MVP of this movie for me.
Yeah, and well done, right?
Yeah, it looked great. It made sense that
Yeah.
yeah, Siegfried and Roy had a face-eating tiger still, so like it worked in. And yes, did we need the Resident Evil level alpha leader with his helmet, smart enough to block his head? Give him props at least. But he had a
Uh,
zombie horse and a pregnant. Well, so we know at some point there was zombie boot knocking going on during this.
oh, that was very obvious that there was some. The way yeah.
Yeah, oh,
It,
the queen was very sexualized, and they
yeah,
made
she was.
and she made sure she had a little baby in his tummy because at least in the Dawn of the Dead remake, she got turned while pregnant. This one just flat out
Yeah, not
implied.
pregnant. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was turning while she was already pregnant, not pregnant after the fact. That's just
Yep.
and I've seen wacky ass movies like Dead Alive, but for some reason when Snyder does it to me, it creeps me out more. I don't know why.
Because I
Because
mean, again, there's a lot that doesn't make sense in this movie. Um, we haven't even got into how the one dude gets out of the safe that he's locked in
I
to escape at the end.
I assume there's a key on the inside. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean that. Well, however you got. Okay, and that's the other thing. You know what? Okay, last spoiler warning. If you don't want
Yeah,
to hear about the ending to this. So, did he get bit before the safe, or on his way out of the safe that we never saw how he escaped?
yeah. I'm assuming afterward
Regardless,
because everybody else was turning so quick,
exactly.
and then yeah, and then all of a sudden his is a slow turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which, admittedly, that is a zombie trope. There's always the one that has to last forever, not telling anyone they got
Yep.
bit, and
Yep.
and apparently we'll have a sequel in Mexico, I guess, when the plane lands, if it makes it there. but
Yeah, I just figured that 360 million people died in this movie based on the ending. So
pretty much,
pretty much the zombie apocalypse is going to take over the world since it got out of Vegas.
yeah. If this even gets a sequel, again, it's a story that he wrote 10 years ago that took that long to get produced. I'm not
Yeah.
hearing a lot of talk about it, and that's the thing too. Like, if it wasn't for my handy dandy notebook, because I did watch this like early last week, I would have forgot 90% of this stuff because that's the only other thing about this movie too. While it's a decent action film, it's nothing stuck with me. You know what I mean? Like a lot of little
It is a
story
better
details. Yeah,
yeah. That's because the story's a mess. But it is a better action film than it is a horror film.
true,
There are
true.
very little horror aspects of this movie other than they're killing zombies,
No,
which
absolutely.
again is very video game-ish, right? There's not a whole lot of horror in a zombie video game. It's mostly just how quick can I kill the zombies.
Yeah, this is more attuned to Call of Duty Zombies or even the
Yeah.
was it Left 4 Dead franchises
Yeah,
more so
the
than like
Left for Dead is what it made me think of.
more so than say a Resident Evil. At least the early Resident Evil games that were definitely more horror, survival horror than action horror.
Exactly. Unlike the movies that came from them. Um,
Yeah, very much.
but again, is it worth your watch? Yeah, watch this movie. You'll enjoy it. You don't expect too much from it. Don't expect deep story that actually makes sense. Don't expect a plot that you have to think too much about.
Right.
It pretty much is just here's the quest, go do the quest. Here's the side quest, go do the side quest. Here is some obstacles put in your way for no reason, and find a way out. And well, shit, everybody dies. Um,
Pretty much.
that so I suggest watching it.
Yeah.
I
If you got
wouldn't.
Netflix and two and a
Yeah,
half hours of your time, I mean, it's a mindless popcorn flick. Now, the problems are that it wants to be deeper than it is, and if as long as you're not worrying about that, you're going to enjoy it. You'll. It's not
yep,
a terrible experience unless you have to really analyze it like we do.
yeah. Um, who was your favorite side character?
Uh, Again, like it's now being so long, it's kind of like they're all so damn forgettable. Uh,
Yeah,
Guzman was a pretty fun little.
yeah.
I remember him just because I had to
I
specifically remember his name for the robot zombie sequence. Like I don't know, he's kind
I
of a
liked
wild
him
card.
too.
I liked him.
I liked him too because he was actually in real life. I probably would have hated him
Oh, of
because
course.
of the fact that he's a internet star
Yeah.
that became famous by killing zombies while living in Vegas and posting videos of it on YouTube.
Right.
Um, another heavy-handed social commentary by Zack Snyder, but and then it turns out the dude's actually a pretty cool dude and
Yeah.
actually knows what he's doing and is a integral part of the team.
Right.
I liked him. I thought his death was pretty noble, so I give
Right.
him credit for that too. So,
Yeah, I'd
um,
say him. Second runner up is his homeboy who said, "Well, we're going into Vegas now. Fuck this, I'm out," and
yeah,
left. Smartest man in
yeah,
a horror movie yet.
yep. Who did you play? I played the smart guy in a horror movie.
I did not
What?
go into
Yeah,
Vegas.
I hijacked out of there. I hightailed out of there when I saw what was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I didn't think of it that way, but that is 100% true.
Yeah. And again, the dude from, I believe you say he's the guy from Luke Cage.
Yeah.
I said he weirdly had this like, oh, and again, another thread you want to bring up because like, what was the fucking sequence with him and Dieter where he said, "Look at the corpses. This is us. What if we're just in some endless loop of failing over and
Oh
over?"
my
What
God.
the fuck was that?
Mental, to quote our friend Matt,
Yeah,
that was mental masturbation.
I guess.
Because they even were wearing like similar
Yeah.
clothes and necklaces and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is just stupid.
Was that just?
Because,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know.
it just, unless a nuclear blast causes you to keep living your life over and over again or
So
something. So,
So now, yeah, okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, so not only do we have two plot devices brought up in the film that never factored in the raining zombies sleeping outside, and
yep.
and the potential of alternate reality dimension warping thing, literally addressed in film that had nothing to do with anything. But then we have factors of aliens and robots that are in the film and not addressed at all.
Yep.
Man, fuck you, Zack Snyder.
I think you've talked my grade down a little bit in this
I think
one.
I talked my own grade down. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't have it this low, but the more I'm thinking about it, my head fucking hurts.
Again, don't think about this movie. Just
Yeah.
watch it.
Just don't be
They're
us. Don't be
yeah,
us. Just go watch it.
yeah,
Action. Just watch zombie head go pop, and you'll have fun.
yeah.
To be honest, because
So,
there's a lot of violence, a lot of good kills.
yeah. Did you have a best kill?
Oh, absolutely did. Because it was
Okay.
Yeah,
What was your favorite kill?
it was the most rewarding because out of all the one, I can say two-dimensional, one-dimensional characters that he created, the one that you really wanted to see suffer got fucking mauled by a tiger who's the MVP of this fucking movie. that that like I'm gonna like the whole time I was thinking that I was like, oh, this is the bear mauling Craig wanted to see in the Revenant. Like this is
My question is, did dude turn into a zombie since he was killed by a zombie tiger?
was it an alpha tiger? I
Um,
don't know.
well, I think, yeah, I
I
don't
don't.
know either. I don't
Yeah.
know the rules of a Zack Snyder zombie movie. Neither did Zack Snyder.
No, he doesn't.
Uh,
But yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the zombie queen's death.
Oh,
I thought,
the
yeah,
garrote. I don't know. I've never been sure how to say that. The garrote wire.
no, I'm talking about throwing her head
Oh,
from the
just the
building
head
because she was
dropping.
still alive.
Oh, true, true.
Yeah, because her head was still alive, and
Yep.
then the what was her name? Coyote saves the day by
Yeah.
throwing her head off of
Oh,
the
hey,
building and smashing.
and not gonna lie. Okay, we kind of like I did kind of. You thank you for saying her name, even though I've had her for the YouTubers out there watching us. Like there is an image of her, the blonde lady. I actually she had a little bit of character to there was a little character to her. I actually enjoyed her in the film as well.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed her character a lot as well. I liked, she had a little bit of a side story enough to make you
Yeah,
care about her.
right.
Unlike Maria, whose entire side story happened 30 seconds before she died, just so that you would have feels for her when she
Which
died.
which that may have been my kill of the movie if it wasn't spoiled for me beforehand.
It was a pretty good kill.
Yeah,
So,
because it did happen quickly and out of like a
yeah.
little predictable, but still the way it happened. Well, what would have got
Yeah.
it if I had had it spoiled because someone posted a GIF of it? I'd stumbled
Oh,
on it
gotcha.
online, but after the head twist, the little bit of the spine pops out the side. That was a good little
Yeah.
detail. I give him props. That was a good little
Yeah.
detail. That may have
It
gotten
was
it.
a good kill.
Yeah.
I just don't understand a zombie breaking somebody's neck. But again, they're alpha zombies, so what do I
They're
know?
alien alpha zombies.
Alien alpha zombies. That's a new thing.
But yeah. So yeah, that's like you mentioned,
That's pre-
we're talking down our own. I think we both had higher grade for this movie before we really analyzed it. Because yeah,
sometimes we talk to each other and raise our grades up a little bit. Sometimes we talk about the movie and it comes down a little bit. This is like Batman versus Superman.
right.
When I told you I liked it, and we sat down and talked about it, and I tore apart every scene of the movie.
Oh, another
It's
Snyder
similar.
film.
Yeah, another good one. Um,
Another one of Snyder's genius.
yeah.
Batman v Superman. So yeah,
All right. So
on
yeah.
on
What?
my notes, I had three
Yeah.
stars
Yeah.
because I thought it was very middle of the. Although three isn't technically middle, but well, I guess yeah, it's middle of the road. But then we analyzed it and really discussed it. I'm dropping it down to two.
Yeah. I had 2.5 because it was straight up middle of the road for me.
Yeah,
Not great, not horrible, but I'm giving it a 2 as well.
yeah,
Um, Mainly because of the plot problems. Now, just because it's getting a less than middle of the road rating from us doesn't mean it's not worth your time
yeah,
if you have the 2.5 hours to sit around and watch a
yeah.
zombie action movie. Anyways, you're probably not looking for substance.
Absolutely.
Um,
I've actually got a coworker Ed who may be a future guest because he really likes
okay,
another movie, and I need him to defend himself because I
okay,
and he really enjoyed this film. He didn't catch any.
okay.
He didn't catch any of the little details that I had to analytically pick apart. So I do. I agree with you. And I brought that up to reemphasize. We have to look at movies, as a whole. We look at the layers, we look at the construction of it, and because we are reviewers and we love the genre. But
Right.
and it's almost like the level of sometimes I wish I could just watch a movie for just what I'm seeing at the surface because that's how most people watch
Yeah.
movies. And if you do like that, you're going to. I think you will enjoy this film. I think most people will enjoy this film at the surface level. Don't think too hard about it. Eat your popcorn, have a beer, and enjoy yourself because that's what it's meant for.
That's exactly right. Because again, I'm not going to repeat myself, but yeah, it's you can have fun watching this movie. So don't let our low grade turn you away from it. Watch it. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, I would love to hear. Yeah, like again, a few people I've talked to already just before we even recorded this, because I wanted to try and I kept bringing up in discussions to keep it fresh in my head because again, to me, a
Right.
lot of it was kind of forgettable after a few days, and most people have enjoyed it. And we didn't, not to say we hated it, but there's so many flaws that we forced us to give it a lower review than it's probably. I ain't gonna say probably it deserves the review we gave it, but most people aren't going to watch this film and think as deeply as we did. I'll put it like that. I guess that's
If it,
yeah,
yeah, if it didn't have the entertainment value that it had in the action sequences, it probably would have been much lower. So if you go
yeah,
in just watching it as an action flick, you're probably going to be perfectly fine with this movie and enjoy this movie.
right. So drop comments down below and tell us how wrong we are and how much cinema snobbing we are doing on this film and how we just need to relax, and enjoy a film, and we'll still ignore you. Uh, but that is going to do it for this week. We appreciate
Yeah.
every one of y'all listening in. Like I said, I think we're still going to be on our every other week schedule for the time being. But next time,
Yep.
unless another, because this was a new Zack Snyder movie, a horror Zack Snyder movie, returning to his. I didn't realize that Dawn of the Dead remake was his first major first major film. So this is a granted a 10-year-old script, but a return back to how he started in the big movies. So yeah, I felt like this was something worth addressing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And we're going to do that from time to time. We've
Yeah,
told you guys that before, and we're going to do it. We're going to jump off and hit movies as they get released. We skipped Spiral because, in my mind, I wanted to put it with the Jigsaw movies when we get to them.
right.
But I think, Sean, you had a different plan for it. But either way, we ended up just skipping that one. But we're going to be doing these movies as they come out as well. So whatever we're in the middle of, there will be times when we skip and do something different. So,
Yep. But stay tuned next week for the main event, Freddy versus Jason. We'll catch y'all next time.
yep.
Latest.
See you next week or 2 weeks.